Twitter, of course, as we know, is a growing way of communicating with America. It's a growing way that young people communicate with one another and with the world and let you know exactly what is going on. I'm not telling you news right now, but I'm just giving you background to why it's important that this first Twitter town hall happened with President Obama today. And while it was a little bit staged, and a lot of these answers were pre-rehearsed, a lot of them were the canned kind of responses that we're used to this president giving, there was a different way of hearing them today, and it did allow for some interplay between people, citizens, and the president. Two people got questions in, one Nicholas Kristof of the New York Times and one the speaker, John Boehner. Hard to imagine how they got their questions in. It was hosted by, was it John Dorsey? Mr. Dorsey, we'll call him, one of the Twitter co-founders, who did a fine job but didn't really get a chance to follow up on questions. Let's listen to a couple of them. One of the things that I found striking before we listen to a couple of these answers are the things that Americans are interested in versus what the press seems to be interested in. When the press is speaking to members of Congress, when the press is speaking to the president, there seems to be a tremendous divide in what their agenda is and what the subjects that pique their interest are and what Americans want to talk about. The Speaker of the House aside, Americans want to hear about the economy and jobs. And I would say in a very disproportionate way today, they wanted to hear about education. Education, of course, always seems to rank low when people are polled as to what they care about most, what are the pressing issues in this country. But a disproportionate number of these questions, and granted there were only 18 or 20 of them, came in today about education. Let's listen first to the Speaker of the House, a surprise caller, the president taken aback by the fact that John Boehner was on the phone. This is number 4, clip number 4.
Now our next question comes from someone you may know. This is Speaker Boehner.
Oh, there you go.
After embarking on a record spending binge that left us deeper in debt, where are the jobs? ? And I want to note that these characters are his fault.
Well, look, obviously, John's the Speaker of the House. He's a Republican, and so this is a slightly skewed question. But what he's right about is that we have not seen fast enough job growth relative to the need. I mean, we lost, as I said, 4 million jobs before I took office, before I was sworn in. About 4 million jobs were lost in the few months right after I took office, before our economic policies had a chance to take any effect. We've been able to cooperate with Republicans on a range of these issues. There are some areas where the Republicans have been more resistant in cooperating, even though I think most objective observers think it's the right thing to do. I'll give you a specific example. It's estimated that we have about $2 trillion worth of infrastructure that needs to be rebuilt. Roads, bridges, sewer lines, water mains. For us to move forward on a major infrastructure initiative where we're putting people to work right now, including construction workers who are disproportionately unemployed when the housing bubble went bust, to put them to work rebuilding America at a time when interest rates are very low, contractors are looking for work, and the need is there. That is something that could make a huge positive impact on the economy overall. We haven't gotten the kind of cooperation that I'd like to see on some of those ideas and initiatives, but I'm just going to keep on trying, and eventually I'm sure the Speaker will see the light.
What? Is that over yet? Sorry. The president, really always offering a scintillating response, though always full of interesting subjects. And he's right here. He did get pushback from a Congress. There is infrastructure that needs rebuilding. This country does need rebuilding. They translate that in the Republican Congress as spending, as if we can't spend on these things. These are the kind of expenditures that create jobs. One thing that I found encouraging is I've been accused of saying a lot, and the president says a lot. So I might be able to be president one day because I say just as much as the president. But in truth, the president responding to Speaker Boehner here is talking about one of the sort of the very conversational hitches that happen when talking about job creation. It's not just about spending increases. It's not just about tax increases. It's not having to be dumbed down at every turn. As the president said, there is an estimated $2 trillion worth of infrastructure that needs to be repaired in this country. That is what the stimulus package was essentially about in a microcosmic kind of way. Now we have a president saying that this needs to be done, and we have a Congress that is once again immovable on spending, even when it will create jobs. If jobs are the most important thing, if it's exactly what the Speaker cares about doing, then the Speaker will find a way to raise revenue to create jobs. And the Speaker has said, no, we can't do that. And in fact, we'll get to that later, but there are a ton of reasons why what the president just said in his own kind of droll way is one of the most important parts of his re-election campaign. To draw the line in the sand and say, this is what we are proposing, this is how we get people back to work, this is how we employ returning military, this is how we employ laid-off factory workers. We create new jobs, and they're all local jobs. They don't all have to move to different places because this infrastructure is throughout the country, and it's a way of creating jobs both on a state and federal level.